Lisbon, Portugal, 1st December 1785. Death, in its stark finality, is the necessary end which punctuates the narrative of human existence, the ultimate equalizer, rendering irrelevant the distinctions of wealth, status, or power. It strips away the veneer of earthly concerns, revealing the essence of what it means to be human. Any moment might be our last. Everything is more beautiful because we're doomed. And fate. No one alive has ever escaped it. Not you, nor I. With us the day we are born. Death and fate await us. One day, our last sun will rise, and we will descend to our death like nightfall. This morning we buried Frances underneath a shady tree in the southwestern part of the British cemetery in Lisbon. I picked some flowers along our walk, whispered a prayer as her body entered the earth, and placed them on top of her earthly grave. Frances was a woman of extraordinary talents. She would sing and dance. She drew with exquisite fidelity and neatness. When I first met her, I contemplated with a sentiment of inferiority and reverence. A girl 2 years older than me at 18 spelt and wrote better than I. She inspired me to pay superficial attention to literature, and when the wounds of childish inferiority wore off, I came to adore the inextinguishable thirst for knowledge she bestowed upon me. As the priest said his last words, I leaned against Hugh, the warmth from his shoulder comforting me, and closed my eyes in a desperate attempt to escape from the terrible dream. Lisbon, 4th December 1785. To Eliza Bishop. I'm almost afraid to see what lies ahead. So many things have happened in so short a time. My head grows light thinking of it. After my arrival, I could not write to tell you Fanny was ill. It seemed like signing her death warrant. I arrived last Monday, 13 days at sea. Water and wind entered through cabin windows, while the ship dangerously rolled. By the time I arrived, Frances was already in labour and gave birth to a boy, William. By the next morning, she died. My spirits have forever flown, and I have lost all relish for pleasure. I thought opening the school would be the answer to my earthly problems. Her brother George and France's parents arrived the day after her funeral, their ship held by opposing winds. My head is stupid and my heart is sick and exhausted. Soon I shall travel back to England, perhaps in a few weeks' time. I will care for her mother and father as George returned to Dublin. I have found a wet nurse for the boy, thank the heavens. I will share my last shilling with her parents to help them return to Ireland. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Newington Green, 27th February 1786. George Blood. I am indeed much distressed. My future prospects are still gloomy. Moreover, my debtors have a right to do what they please with me should I not be able to satisfy their demands. My brother will not receive either of the girls, consequently Eliza in particular is helpless. Everina plans to venture into the world as a companion. However, I intend to stay on the green and live without a servant. I am done with worldly pursuits, and I rather think I have not much to hope for in life. Alas, if I can survive France's death, I can survive poverty and all the lesser ills of life. I feared this time, oh, how I feared it. My present plan would have made me shudder some years ago, and now it does not terrify me. I cannot bear to think of bustling with the world forever in an extensive way. A little peace is all I desire. As to your father and mother, I hope they are settled once again in Ireland. It weighs on me William did not live. I hope you can keep them from perishing. Often when I think of death as the only end of my sorrows and cares, I wished to them settled before I went to rest. Fate's decision should bring improvement, but it's the suspense and dread that troubles me. In a dream the other night, poor Frances appeared to me and told me I should soon follow her. I am sick of the world. 'Tis an unweeded garden. Weary of everything under the sun, I want a friend now I am alone. Newington Green, July 1786. George Blood. Thank you for your kind and affectionate letter. I must again repeat to you I am determined to earn my own substance, if not more. I hope to save money and pay my debts, which worry me beyond measure. I have had 2 offers of being received as a governess in reputable families. One is in Wales, the other in Ireland. Lady Kingsborough in Ireland has offered £40 a year, and half of that sum I could pay to discharge my debts and afterwards assist Eliza. I by no means like the idea of being a governess, consequently shut out from society and barred from pleasures of friendship. Your letters, my dear boy, afford me great pleasure, and I apologise if mine are not always written in an equal style of affection, for my lowness of spirits. I am often at war with myself. My heart sometimes overflows with kindness, at others seems exhausted and incapable of being interested about anyone. Newington Green, 23rd September 1786. My dear Eliza, yesterday I received a correspondence from Mrs. Pryor, and I shall be in the employment of Lady Kingsborough within mere weeks. Mrs. Price died the other day, and Dr. Price intends on leaving the Green soon. He has been uncommonly friendly to me. This is the last letter I shall write to you from this island. Edward has behaved very rude to me, and has not assisted me in the smallest degree, for it appears he is our father's son. Mary. Henley, Thursday, the 13th September, 1787. To Joseph Johnson. My dear Sir, since I saw you I have enjoyed solitude. Have you heard of a habituation for me? I often think of my new plan for life, unless my sister prevail me to alter it. I have avoided mentioning it to her. I am determined. Although your sex generally laugh at female determinations, I have never resolved to do anything of consequence that I did not adhere resolutely to it, till I had accomplished my purpose. In the course of near 29 years I have gathered some experience, and felt many severe disappointments. At last I long for peace and independence. Every obligation we receive from our fellow creatures is a new shackle, takes from our native freedom and debases the mind, makes us mere earthworms. I am not fond of grovelling. I hope to see you soon. When shall that be? I am Sir Yorkshire, Mary Wollstonecraft, ein Seedhad. London, November, 1787. Everina Wollstonecraft. Presently, my dear, I am once again thrown into the world. Last week I left Lord Kingsborough's, and they return in a few days to Mitchelstown. Hence you can conceive how disagreeable pity and advice would be at this juncture. However, Mr. Johnson, whose uncommon kindness I believe has saved me from despair and vexations, assures me that if I exert my talents in writing, I may support myself comfortably. I tremble at the prospect. Should I succeed, my dear girls, you shall have a home and a refuge for a few months a year where you can forget the cares that disturb the rest. In the meantime, I shall strain every nerve in my body to procure a situation for Eliza nearer London. You can scarcely perceive how delicately Mr. Johnson is interested he is in my fate. He has now settled me in a little house at 49 George Street near Blackfriars Bridge. I have given him Mary. Though I do not know when it shall be finished, whenever I am tired of solitude, I go to Mr. Johnson's, and there I meet the kind of company I find the most pleasure in. Despite everything, Charles writes angrily, I worry about the poor boy's fate, keep my plans from father and Edward, only you and Eliza matter to me in the family, and I wish to be a mother to you both. I wish to introduce you to Mr. Johnson, you would respect him. And he has behaved so tenderly to me and shown me humanity I have never known from anyone. I am yours, Mary.